Hey guys, Theron Taggart here, strategy lead at Studio Red Design, and I'm lucky enough to be joined today by our lead illustrator, one of our great designers, and our technical guru, Kevin Sample. Morning, Kevin.
Morning.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, no complaints, no complaints. I got the coffee ready to go here.
Yeah.
So thanks for making the time today.
hmm
Kevin, as you know, and some of our followers may not know, I spent about 20 years as a consultant, strategy, operations, finance, restructuring, etc.
hmm
And a lot of my efforts producing reports, right? A tangible outcome. Do an
hmm
analysis, put it in a report, client likes it, they implement the changes, they don't. And so a lot of my efforts were kind of from day one building that report. And so we would, start first with the report in mind, the result in mind, and then work the process through to get to that report. And one of the things that I've seen when I've started working with you and the Studio Red team is when we go into client meetings, they tend to come to us with a specific ask. We need a logo, we need a trademark, we need a business card, we
hmm
need an annual report, whatever it is. And while it's useful information and certainly guides us in framing our estimates, our proposals, and our work ultimately, what I hear you talk about a lot is the word purpose. And
hmm
I oftentimes hear you slowing people down to talk about purpose. And what do you mean when you say purpose? Why shouldn't we just jump into designing that logo, Kevin?
I think with purpose, I think it's important to know, I guess, what you're trying to achieve. That's the important thing. What is the end goal for the design? Are you just trying to like refresh the logo? Are you trying to maybe expand your brand to reach new audiences? I think the end goal is something that's important to keep in mind, when moving forward with design, not just the design itself, but where it's going.
No, I love that. I love that. And in terms of direction, what's you talk about audience a lot as well. So you talk about direction, but you're also talking about audience. Why is audience so important? I mean, can't we just reach out to everybody? Is that, can't we just take a scatter gun approach? Is that a good way to drive design efforts?
I don't necessarily think so. I think that you don't want to cast too wide of a net, because ideally, depending on your business and what products you're trying to sell, if you're trying to sell products, you're always looking to go for a specific clientele.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you have specific people you want to reach out, and you want to design something that will resonate with those people and draw them in. Um, and there is also, trying to reach out to new people. And so I think at the same time, you want to design something that stays true to you. Um, so yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I guess it's the old adage, know your audience, right? When you're
Yep.
doing presentations or in theater, that rings very true to me.
Yeah.
The other thing I've noticed when you're undertaking these design efforts, Kevin, is that the process seems to be almost like chiseling on a piece of stone, right? You
hmm
start with a large piece of stone and you're cutting down. And so when I'll see your efforts, typically the finished product, whether it's an illustration or a logo or a website you're working on, the first draft tends to be like chock full of stuff. And the final draft tends to be a lot more focused. Why is that? What is that effort? What are you doing when that's happening, Kevin?
So in the beginning, I think with like initial drafts, I think what we're really doing is trying to get a feel for what the client is looking for or what the client, responds to. And so it's all about, in that instance, trying to send out as many ideas as possible, as many different ways to do something to see what they react to and how they react to it. And then from there, it's just about, narrowing the options down until we refine something that, really reflects the client's vision and, what they're trying to do.
Okay. Okay. Uh, One of the things I think about as well is technology.
hmm
Um, I mean, technology has certainly been a huge part of the design and marketing space for the last, couple decades. And I
hmm
think back to, 20 years ago, people were still doing stuff freehand. You often do stuff freehand yourself as well,
Yeah.
as an illustrator. What role do you think technology plays in getting to the purpose? Does it help us? Does it hinder it? Does it depend? What are your thoughts on that?
I think technology right now is kind of acting as a double-edged sword. I think that it's becoming easier for anyone to pick up and design something. Sites like Canva make it super easy for you to whip out, graphics or banners or whatever you want to do. And I think it's awesome in, introducing people to the world of design, but I also think it sort of a handicap almost,
Hmm.
where, anyone can use it. So people often, skip coming to a designer or trying to think of the word. Yeah. So they just skip coming to like the professionals basically and, jump the gun. And I don't think they really quite understand exactly what goes on under the hood of a design other than, making things look good.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think probably I've seen sites like Fiverr
Yeah.
where people or anywhere around the world with relatively little, if any, real design experience
Mhm.
are pulling stuff together that people are then taking and using as their brand, using as their logo, which aligns exactly with what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I, I think that has to do also with people's perception of designers. I know there's
uh,
some people out there that think, I guess because it looks so easy what we do that we're not worth what we're charging. But,
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I think any shortcuts that can be taken, take them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. But it strikes me as there's a role for shortcuts when you're doing production or
yeah,
operations components, but for something as central as a brand, a logo, a trademark, a format for whatever the piece is, it strikes me as that's where the purpose and the intensity really matters.
yeah, yeah. It's important not to take shortcuts when you're dealing with the face of your company.
I love it. I love it. Well, any final thoughts before we let you go today, Kevin?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, listen, thanks so much for the time.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for watching. Come visit us on our YouTube channel at Studio Red Design, or feel free to visit us on our website at studiored.us. Talk to you soon. Bye now.
Bye.